In this video, I want to have a bit of a closer look at graphing straight lines based on their equations. So far when we're graphing straight lines, we've been using a table of values, but often that's not the easiest way. So if we've got the equation of a line in gradient-intercept form, sometimes it's easier to read off the gradient and the y-intercept and use these to help us graph our straight line. So for our first example, we've got the line y equals 4x minus 1. So from there, we know that the coefficient of x is our gradient, so our gradient is 4, and we know that our y-intercept is that minus 1. So using those, we can graph our straight line. So the first thing we can do is we know that our y-intercept is minus 1, so that means our line is going to pass through this point just here. We also know that our gradient is 4, so that means it's a positive gradient for starters, so it's going to come up this direction somewhere. And a gradient of 4, if we wrote 4 as a fraction, it would be written as 4 over 1. So that means we've got a rise of 4 and a run of 1. So we can go up 4 units and across 1 unit. Now we moved across to the right because we know it has a positive gradient, so it has to come up this way. If it was a negative gradient, we still would have come up 4, but we would have gone across this way so that it sloped in that negative direction. So now we have 2 points that line passes through. We can join them together to make our straight line. Arrow is on either end, and then we'll write our equation just there as well. All right, one more example. So in this one, we've got for the straight line y equals minus 2x plus 3, our gradient would be that coefficient, so minus 2. Our y-intercept would be that positive 3, the constant term on the end. We're going to start with our y-intercept, so we know that our line is going to pass through this point just here. And we know that it has a gradient of minus 2, so keeping in mind that because it's negative, it's going to go up this direction somewhere. A gradient of 2, that would be written as a fraction as 2 over 1. So our rise is 2 and our run is 1. So we're going to go up 2 units. We want to go across 1 unit, but because it's negative, we're going to go across to the left this time. So we know that our line is going to pass through that point as well. And then we can join the dots to make our straight line. Again, arrows on either end, and then our equation next to that line somewhere. So it's a bit of a shorter, easier way to graph straight lines rather than using a table of values.